The waiter hasn't even set down the sparkling water when my aunt leans in like she's about to share a coupon code and hisses. So, Sloane, still single? Men want a real woman. She smiles as if she's offering me life advice and not a dart tipped with poison. Before we begin, drop a comment and tell us where are you from and from which city you're watching our videos? And after watching the whole video, don't forget to tell us what would you do in this situation? Be honest, tell me in the comments below. We read every comment. Let's begin. Brianna, my older sister, does that giggle she reserves for when she thinks I'm beneath her, but wants credit for being polite. Silverware clinks. My mother clears her throat. My Uncle Walt pretends to study the menu like it's the Constitution. Lily, Brianna's 17-year-old daughter, shrinks in her chair, eyes on her napkin. I didn't come here to shrink. Denise, I say, the name's smooth as a blade. You're absolutely right. Real women pay their bills, sign contracts, and show up for the people who actually need them. The table pauses mid-inhale. The chandeliers at Harlan Steakhouse throw gold over all the polite lies we've dressed in for years. I feel the heat in my chest. Anger, yes, but something brighter riding under it. I've been a silent ATM for this family. Tonight, the pin changes. Denise's brows lift. We were only joking, sweetheart. I glance at Brianna. She's wearing the Cartier bracelet I bought her after her third, temporary layoff. I'd been told it would help her feel motivated. It motivated her to ask for matching earrings. Come on, Sloane, Brianna says, twisting the bracelet like it's a worry stone. Don't make a scene. I'm not making a scene, I say, steady. I'm making a record. Lily's eyes flicker to me. She knows. She doesn't know everything, but she knows enough to be scared of what I might say next. I scan the table. Dad's jaw is locked. Mom is smoothing her napkin until it could slice glass. Denise, for once, doesn't have a comeback at the ready. Since we're tossing advice like mints, I say, here's mine. Don't lecture the person who's been quietly paying to keep your world from caving in. Excuse me? Denise laughs, a brittle little sound. What on earth are you talking about? I lean back. I let them look at me. The sister with no husband, no kids, the one who works in tech or something and somehow always has a card on the table. The one who is supposed to be grateful for the privilege of footing everyone else's emergencies. I could say a lot. I could remind them of the times the family group chat exploded with help and I answered before they asked twice. But none of that matters. What matters is the promise I made to myself this morning when I looked in the mirror and said, you're done asking for respect. You're collecting it. Let me simplify, I say, lifting the leather portfolio I brought and setting it next to my plate. The anonymous donor who secured Lily's first-year tuition? That was me. The laptop on which she wrote her admissions essay?
Me.
The emergency dentist when Brianna cracked a veneer?
Me.
The daycare deposit when Denise's consulting fell through? Twice?
Me.
No one breathes. The table goes still enough to hear the thermostat click. Brianna's flush races up her neck. You told me you were just spotting me until the bonus came in. You never got a bonus, I say. You got a new tattoo. Denise's smile trembles. Sloane, we're family. You said you wanted to help. I do want to help, I say, and I mean it. But helping isn't the same as being harvested. Walt clears his throat. Let's not do this here. Here's where it stops, I reply. Because Denise is right in her own way. Men and women want a real woman. Real women don't let themselves be used like credit lines with legs. Real women don't let people call them less than because their ring finger is bare while the rest of the table eats on their tab. The waiter comes by to ask about appetizers. We all murmur that we need a minute. He retreats on soft soles, reading the weather. Hurricane Sloane is inland. Mom pinches the bridge of her nose. Honey, you're being dramatic. I'm being documented. I unzip the portfolio and slide out a neat stack of envelopes, each labeled in my clean block letters. These are copies of every receipt with my name on it. Tuition transfer confirmations. Venmo records. The phone plan you're all writing paid by me. The health insurance premium I covered for Brianna last winter when she decided the exchange was too confusing. The SUV lease Denise brags about to her book club? Guess whose credit that's under? Denise's hand flutters to her throat. You said that was a cosign. I said it was temporary. I say. Temporary ended 12 months ago. Brianna swallows. Why are you doing this? Because I wake up at 5, run a team of 8, ship products on impossible timelines, and somehow still have to defend my life at every family gathering like it's a bad pie chart. I keep my voice calm. That takes more strength than shouting. Because I am tired of relatives confusing access with entitlement. Because your jokes aren't jokes, they're invoices. And I'm paid up. Dad finally speaks. Put the envelopes away, Sloane. You're making Lily uncomfortable. My gaze softens when it finds Lily. I'm sorry this is happening in public. None of it is your fault. You did everything you were supposed to do. You worked. You got in. You deserve to go. Lily blinks fast. Aunt Sloane, please don't. I'm not pulling you out, I say, and her shoulders drop in relief. Denise exhales like she owns oxygen. Brianna actually smiles, thinking the storm has passed. I continue, and their faces split in slow motion, changing the route. Silence breaks like a glass. What does that mean? Denise demands. It means the anonymous donor letter was replaced this afternoon with a new agreement. I tap the portfolio. Your daughter's tuition is secured for the year, paid directly into a trust in her name, managed by an independent fiduciary. You don't touch it. You don't use it as a bragging chip. It cannot be leveraged to get you a spa weekend or to reimburse Brianna for her contribution to the family group chat morale. It pays for classes, books, and a modest meal plan. That's it. Denise stares. You can't just. I can. And I did. I look at Brianna. And the phone plan? You'll get a transfer notice on Monday. You'll have 60 days to set up your own account. The SUV? I've scheduled a meeting with the dealership. Either we refinance it out of my name, or it returns to the lot. Health insurance? Your HR portal opens at 9 a.m. It's time to learn. Brianna's chair scrapes. You're humiliating us. No, I say, calm as rainfall. I'm refusing to be humiliated. Mom's voice turns thin. Sloane, you're attacking your family. I'm setting terms, I say. Terms that should have been there from the beginning. Walt lifts both hands. Look, we appreciate what you've done.
Truly.
Maybe we just got comfortable. Comfortable. The word tastes like smoke. Try exhausted. Try invisible. Try being told I'm not real because I don't fit the framed picture you want on your mantle. Meanwhile, who's been writing the checks that hold that mantle up? A table behind us goes quiet. I don't care. Let them listen. Maybe someone will leave here with a spine they didn't order. Denise leans in, eyes cutting. You want to play hardball?
Fine.
But don't expect us to keep inviting you to the big moments if you're going to act like this. Inviting me? I laugh. Bright and clean. Denise, I planned half your big moments. I pay deposits. I called vendors. I covered balances when your card mysteriously declined. I think I'll survive if your canopy budget soldiers on without me. Lily's chair squeaks as she inches closer to me. Thank you, she whispers. I meet her eyes. Focus on your future. The rest is noise. I stand, the room tilting for just a second as adrenaline tumbles through me. I slide one last envelope across the table, this one addressed to me. That's my boundary letter, I say. It lists what I will and won't do going forward. It's signed, dated, and notarized. I know how this family operates. I'm not giving you room to twist it. Brianna huffs. You think you're the hero. No, I say. I think I'm finally the protagonist of my own life. I lift my clutch, my portfolio, and my dignity. My heart is beating hard but steady, like it finally recognizes me. Order whatever you want, I tell them. The card on file belongs to the person who invited you. Denise blinks. Who invited us? I smile. You did. I walk out under the gold light, past the maitre d', who gives me a tiny nod like he just watched a quiet revolution. Outside, the night is brisk and clean. I breathe it in. My phone vibrates, an email confirmation from the trust company. Lily's tuition, secured. Another buzz. A calendar invite with the dealership. Another. Phone plan transfer initiated. I text Lily, you're good. Focus on your first midterms. I'm in your corner, directly. She responds with a flood of hearts and a promise to call later. For the first time in a long time, I believe her. Across the street, a busker hits a chord that sounds like possibility. Tonight wasn't about destroying anyone. It was about reclaiming what I gave away without asking for respect in return. And this time, I'm taking back everything with my name on it, starting with me. The next morning, my phone buzzed nonstop. Missed calls from Mom, text storms from Brianna, and 3 voicemails from Denise. All some version of "you've gone too far." Too far? After years of quiet servitude, this was balance. I slid my laptop open and poured coffee, watching the city breathe outside my window. Notifications blinked across the screen, confirmations that the trust for Lily had been finalized, the car lease was transferring out of my name, and the family phone plan had officially split. For once, my finances looked like they belonged to one person, me. Then a knock at the door. Not tentative, furious. Brianna. She barged in, mascara smudged, designer tote clutched like a weapon. Do you realize what you've done? Mom's hysterical. Denise says Lily cried all night. Lily cried because you made her believe she was losing her education, I said calmly, setting down my mug. I made sure she's safer than ever. Brianna threw up her hands. You embarrassed us. That restaurant is our social circle. You made us look like freeloaders. I arched a brow. Then stop acting like them. Her face flushed red. You think money makes you better than us? No, I said evenly. I think integrity does. For a moment, she went quiet, maybe realizing I wasn't yelling, just done. Bree, you've spent years telling people I'm obsessed with work, that I'll die alone with my laptop, I said. But while you were chasing validation, I was building stability. That doesn't make me better, just responsible.
She scoffed.
You sound like a motivational speaker. Maybe it's time someone in this family did. She turned toward the door, pausing only to say, You'll regret pushing us away. I smiled faintly. I didn't push anyone away. I just stopped standing where I wasn't respected. The door slammed. The apartment fell silent, but it didn't feel empty. It felt earned. I spent the next few weeks cleaning house, literally and emotionally. I canceled the automatic transfers I'd set up, just in case. I unsubscribed from their guilt trips, disguised as group chats. The first paycheck that stayed fully mine felt unreal. I booked a weekend trip, something I hadn't done in years, and when I clicked confirm, it was like reclaiming a part of my identity they'd chipped away with every joke about me being single. But life has a funny way of circling back. 2 months later, I received a letter from Lily, handwritten, not a text or an email. Dear Aunt Sloan, I wanted to say thank you. I know things got messy, but you changed everything for me. I finally understand what strength looks like. I got an internship with your company's youth program. I didn't even know it existed until I asked around. Maybe I can work beside you someday. Love, Lily. My throat tightened. That single letter made every argument worth it. Later that week, as fate would have it, I ran into Denise at a charity luncheon. She hesitated before approaching me, holding a glass of champagne like it might shatter. Sloan, she said softly. Lily told me about the trust. I just wanted to apologize. You were right. I didn't see it then, but I do now. Her voice cracked. You were the only real woman at that table. I smiled, this time without anger. I wasn't trying to prove that, Denise. I just needed to remember it myself. As she walked away, I exhaled, the weight finally lifting. That night, I raised a quiet toast to the version of me who once swallowed every insult. She had no idea how powerful she'd become once she decided her peace was non-negotiable. Because sometimes, revenge isn't fire or fury, it's freedom. And freedom, I've learned, is the sweetest silence of all. 3 months later, I thought I was finally free of family drama until Mom called. Sloan, We're having a small reunion dinner at Brianna's new house this weekend, she said, her tone sugar-coated but trembling underneath. Your sister wants to make peace. Please come. I hesitated. After everything that happened, stepping back into that house felt like walking into a trap. But something in Mom's voice told me she needed me there, not for them, but for closure. Fine, I said. But I'm not walking into another ambush. You won't, she promised. Saturday came fast. I arrived wearing a simple navy dress and a quiet confidence that no one could take anymore. Brianna's house gleamed, new furniture, floral arrangements, the works. Funny how fast she could rebuild once she started paying her own bills. As I walked in, conversations hushed. Denise was there, sipping wine and pretending to admire a painting. Walt gave me a cautious nod. Mom smiled nervously, wringing her hands. And then Brianna appeared, looking flawless and composed, too composed. Sloane, she said, forcing a smile. You came? Only because Mom asked. She gestured toward the dining table. Let's sit. As we took our seats, I braced myself for the performance. But the first surprise wasn't an insult. It was Lily. She rushed over, wrapping her arms around me. Aunt Sloane. I made the dean's list, she said, eyes sparkling. My counselor said your trust fund setup is one of the smartest things she's ever seen. For a second, the entire room softened. Even Denise smiled, proud but quiet. That's amazing, Lily, I said, hugging her back. You earned it. I just made sure no one got in your way. As we sat down, Brianna cleared her throat. I want to start by apologizing, she said, surprising everyone. You were right, Sloane. I didn't realize how much I relied on you until I had to stand on my own. It wasn't easy. I didn't interrupt. She needed to say it out loud. But it made me grow, she continued, her eyes glistening. I got a promotion last week. First time I've ever been able to afford things without asking anyone. The table stayed silent, letting the words sink in. Denise leaned forward. I've been meaning to tell you too. I paid off the SUV completely. You can call the dealership if you don't believe me. A smirk tugged at my lips. I do believe you. Then, for the first time in years, we laughed, not the fake laughter that hides jealousy or tension, but something real. Mom's eyes filled. This is what I always wanted. My girls talking again. Brianna reached across the table, hesitant. I miss you, Sloane. You didn't deserve the way we treated you. I took her hand, steady and warm. You were hurt and insecure.
So was I.
But I'm glad you learned how strong you really are. Walt raised his glass. To strong women, finally at peace. As everyone clinked glasses, I caught Lily's gaze. She mouthed, thank you. That night, after dinner, Brianna pulled me aside. There's one more thing, she said, leading me to the living room. On the mantel was a framed photo. Me, her, and Lily from years ago. I found it cleaning out Mom's attic, she said quietly. It reminded me how much you used to look out for us. I don't ever want to lose that again. My throat tightened. Then don't. Just respect it this time. She nodded.
Deal.
When I left that night, the air felt different. Not heavy. Not fake. Just calm. Driving home, I realized revenge hadn't been about hurting them. It was about waking them up. Making them face the truth without me carrying the weight. And maybe, just maybe, that dinner wasn't an ending at all. It was the beginning of a new chapter where I didn't have to earn my family's respect. It came naturally. For the first time in a long time, I smiled, knowing I'd taken back everything and still had enough grace left to forgive. The following week, I woke up to sunlight pouring through my window, no buzzing phone, no crisis texts, no guilt waiting in my inbox. Just peace. For the first time in years, my life felt like it actually belonged to me. I brewed coffee and glanced at the framed photo on my counter. Me, Brianna, and Lily from that reunion dinner. Everyone was smiling genuinely. It wasn't a perfect ending, but it was honest. At 9 a.m., my assistant called. Sloane, the board approved your proposal, she said excitedly. They want you to lead the new mentorship program for women in tech. I froze, then grinned. They approved it?
Yes.
You'll be featured in the company's Spotlight newsletter. I laughed softly, shaking my head. Tell them I'm honored. And tell HR to find an intern named Lily Ward. She's already ahead of the game. After hanging up, I stepped out onto my balcony, overlooking the city. The skyline glimmered, and for once, I wasn't chasing anything. I had it all: purpose, independence, and finally, peace with my family. Later that afternoon, my phone buzzed again. A text from Brianna. Dinner tonight? My treat. No ambushes this time, I promise. I smiled. Progress. When I arrived at the small Italian bistro, she was already waiting with Denise and Mom. No tension, no fake smiles. Just warmth. Brianna raised a glass. To you, Sloane, for teaching us what real actually means. Denise nodded. And for not giving up on us, even when we didn't deserve your patience. I couldn't help but smile. You finally realized that being real isn't about a man, a ring, or a paycheck. It's about standing tall even when people try to shrink you. Mom reached over, squeezing my hand. You made us all stronger. Even me. The waiter brought out a small dessert plate, tiramisu, compliments of the chef. There was a note on top. Congratulations, Ms. Ward. We saw your feature in the paper. I blinked in surprise. Brianna's grin widened. I might have told them you'd be here. Denise laughed. Looks like our girl's famous now. I took a bite of the dessert and smiled. No, not famous. Just finally living on my own terms. As we left the restaurant, Lily came running up with a folder. Aunt Sloane, I got accepted into the mentorship program at your company. I hugged her tight. You did? That's incredible. She whispered. You were right. Helping people feels even better when you've earned your own peace first. Her words hit me harder than she knew. Because that's exactly what this journey was. Not about revenge, but reclaiming peace, self-worth, and boundaries that could never be taken again. As the night sky wrapped around us, I knew I'd finally closed the chapter that began with humiliation and rewritten it into power. And for once, the quiet wasn't lonely. It was victory.